Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am back from 7 days in Orlando at the Flower and Garden Show, and I want to share with you why I prefer taking a sketchbook over a camera on vacation. I sat out for 3 days. I got to hide away. This is my favorite actually. Sitting by the pool at the Polynesian, and I just think if you haven't taken a sketchbook on vacation, you're missing out. And we're gonna go through a couple of my sketchbooks. I'm gonna show you what I've done over the past few years. It's pretty short. I haven't vacationed a lot, but and several reasons why taking a sketchbook on vacation just really is the best thing you can do for your artistic practice. So thank you for joining me, and we'll get started looking through my books. We just spent the last week at Disney World, and I actually did this before we left because I wanted this to be my Disney memory sketchbook. And so I got a picture off of Pinterest. I did actually drive under this last week. It did look just like this, and wrote down the logistics of my trip, which I try to do in each of my sketchbooks when, before I take a trip. And so the next day, or let's see, we got there Thursday. This was Friday. We sat by the pool and we were staying at the Polynesian, and it was just such a wonderful, it was very cold when we left Pennsylvania here, and it was 92 degrees while we were there. So we had a lot of, the temperatures were warm. There was a lot of things going on that were not just visual. Aside from the beautiful plants that were there, it was just like a perfect day by the pool. So I brought my little bag and my A Gallo paints. I brought a 24 or a 48 color set. I thought it would be easier than bringing multiple different sets of paints. It had all the nice tropical colors that I wanted. And I sat there and I drank a pina colada and I watched the grandkids swim and sketched this. And it was very loose, but when I look at it, I can see most of what I saw at the pool that day. And the next day I had some more time. So this was maybe an hour. The next day, we discovered the adult quiet pool where we took my grandkids, and it was wonderful. Now, I didn't sketch any of the people in here. I could have. Sketching people frustrates me. So I figure when you're on vacation, you don't have to work on all the skills. I feel like being there with my sketchbook is enough to where, like, this was very difficult. This is where I started because this was a huge focal point at the pool we were sitting in. And then I added these and then filled in the plants and everything last. And the whole thing was very enjoyable. And I do find, I would say reason number 2 when you are to bring your sketchbook on vacation is people are very nice. They will come over to you. There was another nice man, 2 lounge chairs down from me that I didn't notice, also brought his sketchbook. And he came down, started talking to me about, that's my sketchbook over there. And people are so nice. They walk up and say, what are you painting? And oh my gosh, I love it. Now, maybe Disney, because there are so many cool artistic things there, the people that are there are drawn to things that are artistic. I don't know. Maybe it's not always the same when you're other places on vacation. I find people at the Disney resorts are particularly friendly. And so it was just a lot of fun to talk with other fellow artists. Then we started talking about the pencils that he uses and his different mediums. But again, I can sit here, put myself back to point number 1, put myself back in this place, no matter how long ago it was, because we're going to go through an older one here in a minute, and I can smell the smells and feel the air temperature. I don't know why, but that is what happens when I immerse myself and sit there and paint. So then The next day, went back to the pool and looked in the other direction and spent less time. I was trying to loosen up. So I sketched this really quickly, which was really difficult because it was like 3 of these buildings that loop around this way. But I ended up being really happy with the chair and a looser go at it. I didn't go back in and do layers and layers and layers. I might. And then wrote down all the things we were doing. And then, because that is all the sketch time I had on vacation, I wrote what we were going to be doing the last days, and I'm going to go back to it. So, excuse me, this is another one that I particularly love. And this is when I went to Las Vegas. I don't want to turn my camera, so I'm going to go like this. I sat under a cabana celebrating my mom's 74th birthday at the Flamingo in Las Vegas, sat on a lounge chair that my daughter rented by the pool, and had a great day eating and drinking. Same thing, like I can put myself back physically into this spot. People, again, were very nice and would walk by and say, oh, I can tell you're a professional artist. Lots of nice things. And then I kept this as my travel journal. This was my recovery days at home, my house. And then playing with my grandson. This was when I flew out when my dad died to his memorial and my memories of that. And this is my old bedroom set, and this is a Frank Serrano painting that I gave my mom that was on her bookshelf that I painted while I was there. Now this is one of my favorites. So this was a different trip to Las Vegas. This was 2021, celebrating my sister's 50th birthday. And this, we were staying at the Flamingo. Let me see if I got that. Yep, I do have that all in view. This is one of my favorite paintings. I went out there the last day that I was in Las Vegas and sat down on an ice cold concrete bench because it was December and sketched this Christmas tree that really, I was like, those are weird Christmas trees. I wasn't particularly attached to them, but as I painted it and as I played with the water down here and this Mexican restaurant here, I actually just fell in love with sitting at this spot, drinking my coffee. It was very early, so there were not a lot of people around. And again, I think I spent maybe 2 hours on this. It is quiet time on your vacation. That would be the number one, is putting yourself back in the place that you were. Number 2 is people are so friendly and come up and talk to you and you meet other artists. Number 3 is it encourages mindfulness and relaxation, and it is great for passing time during travel or for getting a little time away when everything's too hectic. For me, there's nothing like hiding away somewhere for a few hours, getting some, even though I love vacation, love being with everyone, I also like my quiet time. And this really is like a Zen thing for me to get away and to be able to do this. And you are recording your emotions and the atmosphere, and not just something that first of all, it's something that you chose. So it's something that you kind of like. And if I went and bought like a picture of this in a gift shop, it just wouldn't be the same. So and then I would say, so that's 4 things. The 5th thing is it builds your artistic skills, and it's just regular practice, and it's just such a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to do. I've got one more book that I'll share with you. I took this sketchbook to Europe way before COVID, a couple of years before 2020 when my husband took me there. And so I did this at home, this at home. This is my pool before I left. We just threw these away, these dolphins that we bought at Costco years ago. So then I I think too, I always try to journal, and I use the Micron pens that are not, you can paint over them and they don't run. So this was London Heathrow at the BA Lounge in the morning. We took a red eye from the East Coast. This is me just saying everything that happened. There was actually a strike in Spain and our luggage, and it was a big mess. So here we are in Barcelona. I got to do this really quickly. I didn't get to put any of the details of this statue on, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it. But memories here of what we did. And then this was the cruise ship deck. It was a lot of fun. This is a day we skipped going on land. And I just I'm really happy with this. Sometimes, like I said, I'm not crazy about this, but I had fun doing it, and it was challenging doing this kind of angle. I try to pick something that teaches me something each day. Happy with this one. This was also sitting on deck. And then this was just a tree and a few memories. I wrote down the itinerary. And then this one I did from a photo because we hiked in, where were we then? I can't remember. We were somewhere in France that our daughter told us to hike up, and I didn't have time. So this is from a photo, and I'm not as in love with it. This is from the last time I saw my dad before he passed away. We went to Laguna Beach. My niece got married in Dana Point, where we used to live, and we had flown across the country, and I did take the time to sit and sketch this view that I love on Pacific Coast Highway. Stole away for a little bit and did a quick sketch of that. This was when we were sitting outside at Dana Point, where my brother told me they just recently ripped all this down and are putting something else up there. So that was sad. This is the LAX Lounge. The day that COVID started, like 3 days later is when they said a flight attendant went through here and they started to shut things down. This was February of 2020. So we were sitting in the United Lounge, and we had a long layover, and I sat there sketching someone on their phone. It was a beautiful day after my niece's wedding. This, I had skipped this page. This was our view from the balcony of the DoubleTree in Doheny Beach. And this is another one that I really, really love. And I can put myself back there. The clouds were so purple. And I think that's it. Everything else is just kind of playing around. Those are all of my vacation travels that I would like to share with you, that I thought you would like. And I hope that the next time you travel, it doesn't have to be expensive. This is not an expensive sketchbook. This is a cheap one. This is a little bit more expensive one. And this one was much more expensive from Etcher. I do like the way the paper, behaves in this Sketcher book, but I had just as much fun in a less expensive book recording my memories. So I hope that you give it a try and grab a travel sketchbook. I am going to be doing a video later in the week on the supplies that I took and an easy way of taking. You don't have to take the kitchen sink with you on vacation. You can take just the bare minimum and still leave with a beautiful memento from your trip. So thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful day.